Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fourth Man In YouTube channel. I'm Dan, and this is episode number 5. It is a cool and rainy Sunday afternoon here in Central Florida. So if you don't mind, since we're all just sitting around, why don't you go ahead and reach over to click that subscribe button to the Fourth Man In. I sure would appreciate it. In case you don't know what this channel is for, I'll make it clear to you. The Fourth Man In exists to let anyone and everyone who may watch this channel know that on the most difficult and even the worst day of your life, God has not forgotten you, He's not abandoned you, He's not left you, He's still with you. Even when you can't feel, hear, or see Him, God's with you. He always has your back. He always walks with you. That, in essence, is the Fourth Man In. So while we're just sitting around on a Sunday afternoon, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite movie? Now, we would probably get a wide variety of answers on that question, from chick flicks, maybe to superhero action movies, suspense and thriller movies, everything in between. I have to tell you, ever since I was just a little boy, I have been obsessed with Westerns. From High Noon and Gary Cooper to every single Western Clint Eastwood ever made. I love them all, seen them all over and over and over again. In fact, when this video's done, I'll probably go inside and watch one today. But my favorite Western of all time, bar none, is Tombstone. I have seen that movie, and I'm embarrassed to say probably 200 times. I know everyone's lines for every character, from the opening scene to the closing scene. I love that movie. Over the years, I've been blessed to meet the people who still manage and own the actual set where Tombstone was shot. It's somewhere in Arizona, but it still exists. I've been there a couple times. Man, it's so cool, you guys. So before I just totally geek out on that, let's get started on why we're bringing that up in the first place. There's a scene in Tombstone right after Wyatt Earp and Curly Bill Brocious have had their shootout. Very, very famous scene. You've probably quoted it a million times. And during that scene, Doc Holliday and Turkey Creek Jack Johnson are having a conversation. Doc's health is failing. He's very weak. He probably shouldn't be there. And Turkey Creek he's admonishing Doc just to leave, go home, go rest. You shouldn't be here. Why are you here in the first place? And Doc makes it very clear why he's there, why he's putting himself in harm's way. And he says, basically, in essence, he's doing this because Wyatt Earp is Doc Holliday's friend. He tells Turkey Creek, Wyatt Earp is my friend. Now, again, if you've seen the movie, you know how this conversation goes. Turkey Creek says, well, I've got lots of friends. And then say it with me. How does Doc Holliday reply? He tells Turkey Creek, I don't. Now, over the years, and especially as I've gotten older, that scene and that comment has made more and more and more sense to me. It's kind of, maybe it's sad to say, but I think we kind of have a preconceived notion that we have just a limitless supply, an infinite number, if you will, of friends, when in all actuality, we probably don't. The number of real friends we have is probably a lot smaller than what we think. So I hear what Turkey Creek is saying, but I gotta tell you, for me personally, I agree with Doc. Now, if there is a word in the English language today that has been, I don't know if it's right to say taken out of context or just misunderstood more than the word friend, I don't know what it would be. I think that word friend, we just really sometimes fail to really think about what it means and what we are saying when we say someone is our friend. Now, I'm sure that we have countless acquaintances, people that we know, and maybe we know them pretty good, people we work with, people in our neighborhood, But you may be bad in saying that, well, they're all my friends. I don't know, maybe they could be, maybe they will be someday. But again, this is just my opinion. Not all of your acquaintances, and that could be hundreds of people, that could be thousands of people. But to be real, all of your acquaintances, to me, shouldn't fall in that group called friends. That should be reserved for those who are just special to you, and there's a reason for it. When you call someone your friend, again, to me, you are really saying something. So every acquaintance is not actually a friend. Just because you know someone and they know you doesn't mean that you have a friendship. Now also, and this is kind of sad to say, there are people in your life who will be friendly to you, or they may even call you their friend, but they're doing so based on what they get from you or what they get from that relationship. Maybe you have a title or you're in a position of authority or leadership. And man, when you got a title, right, and you've got some authority and people can get something from you, man, it sure is funny, all the friends that you have. But the moment that you don't have that title or that position, a lot of times you'll find out, where'd your friends go? That number dwindles drastically. People who said they were your friends, now all of a sudden are nowhere to be found. But how do you define the word friend? If your children were to ask you, if your grandchildren were to ask you, if you just were having a conversation with somebody and they said, what does friendship or having a friend, what does that mean to you? What's your criteria to call somebody a friend? How do you define that? Think about it for a second. Give it some serious thought. How would you answer that? What does friendship mean to you? What do your friends mean to you? How do you say, what do you come up with? What criteria do you apply to say that person is a friend of mine and here is why? What traits, what characteristics do they possess that make you personally say they are a true, they are a real, they are an authentic, they are a genuine friend? What makes you say that about somebody? Because that group of people is probably a small group. Now, to me, here's the traits, the characteristics of what makes somebody a true, a real, a genuine, and authentic friend. And there's three of them. Number one, they love you unconditionally. Makes sense, right? To me, it has to be right there. You know, we're not talking about, you know, a physical love here, right? We're just talking about a love that they love you, flaws and all. They love you. They love who you are. They love your heart. They understand that you're not perfect. You are far from it. But you know what? They're just tried and true. And they love you. They love you unconditionally. Even when you blow it, even when you goof up, even when you make a mistake, they still love you, right? They don't turn and run. They don't ignore you. They don't just go, forget it, never mind. No, they love you. A real friend loves you unconditionally, not circumstantially, in what they can get from you. A real friend loves you at all times, unconditionally. Secondly, to me, a real friend knows you. They don't know just the front that you put on. They don't know the glossed over you that looks really good. They know you. They know all your faults, all your favors. Well, how do they know it? Because you all talk. You talk with them. They understand the battles that you've gone through. Because look, when you have a real friend, you're going to talk about some things, right? You're gonna bring the walls down and have genuine, real conversations with them. When you make a mistake, right? They're going to know about it because you're going to tell them. You're going to talk about it. That's what friends do. Real friends know each other. They share in your successes, but they also know your failures and your faults and times when you've blown it in life. They know you, and sometimes they'll call you out on things. I'm thankful for friends like that who will press past just the conversation of, hey man, how are you? Or hey man, are you doing good? I'm thankful for friends that will ask hard questions and they'll push you on some things to really find out what's going on in your life. Make no mistake, real friends know you, because let's be honest, if some people knew you or knew the real you, you'd probably find out they're not your friend real quick. But I'm thankful for friends, real friends who know the real me, right? And they're still there. They're still there. And I think you understand what I'm saying. So real friends love you unconditionally. Real friends know you. They know who you are. And they're still there, right? And number three, a friend, a real friend, a friend, an authentic friend, right? They're always there for you. They're always there for you. You know, for a long time, I would always say I've got a group of like my 3 o'clock in the morning friends or my 3 a.m. friends. And what I mean by that, that's a very, very small group of people that I know if I'm in trouble, or if I'm broke down on the side of the road at 3 a.m. or I got a phone call I wasn't expecting. Something happened that completely caught me off guard and I need help right now. Right now. My 3 a.m. friends, those are the people that I know beyond the shadow of a doubt. I can call, text, whatever, and they are on the way. No questions asked. Because real friends are always there for you. It's easy to be there for somebody when things are going good. But what about when things are not going good, right? I'm thankful, I'm grateful for friends who have always been there for me. Real friends love you, real friends know you, and real friends are always there for you. And going back to what Doc Holliday said, not trying to sound silly, that is a very, very small group of people. In fact, if I had to really sit here and think about it, who are my 3 a.m. friends? Who are people that I say that's a real friend? I got to tell you, that list for me is pretty short. I got a lot of acquaintances, but the people that I call friend, we're talking maybe a couple dozen at best. And the people who are just above and beyond the call of duty, I mean, they are just hardcore friends. You know, just the ride or die kind of friends. That's probably less than 10. Right? So when I call someone a friend, I am really, really saying something, because that's a small number of people. So all of that being said, when you lose a friend, it can really hurt. Really hurt. Years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I had a dear friend in high school. Just one of my very best friends in high school. Just a great guy, great husband, great father. Just suddenly and unexpectedly passed away while out in the backyard playing with his boys. He had a medical condition he didn't know about. And I remember another buddy of mine texting and saying, hey, did you hear that he suddenly passed away? And it was like I was kicked right in the stomach. I could not believe it, because he was always so full of life, and I love this guy. We had so many good memories together, and now he's gone. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I had a friend who was struggling and fighting through some PTSD. He had done multiple tours overseas and was struggling, and we'd had a lot of conversations, some very serious conversations about the Lord and about what he was going through. And we were supposed to be seeing each other in a couple months. We didn't live in the same place. And I think I still have his last text saved on my phone somewhere. And he just shot me a text saying, hey man, when you coming down again? And I was like, we'll be there next month or so, something like that. He's like, good bro, can't wait to see you. 2 days later, he took his own life. He was gone. Never have a chance to speak to him again. I wish I could have had that conversation, our last conversation, over, just to say some things maybe differently. But 2 weeks ago, a good friend of mine shot me a text. Just a good brother, a true friend, a genuine friend, an authentic friend. And we would do this a lot from time to time. Just, hey bro, how's it going, man? How's your day going? We would talk about cars. We would talk about trucks, just guy stuff, right? Because that's what we do. And we didn't live close to each other anymore, so we're just texting, man, how you doing? Did you see this? Did you hear that? Just things guys do. And that text actually turned into a phone call. This was about 2 weeks ago, ish. And it was just like we had never missed a beat. Because real friends, you kind of have that relationship. You might not see each other for a while, but when you do talk again, man, you just pick right up where you left off, and we're just cutting up, laughing, and just talking about things, having a good conversation. And I didn't know in less than 48 hours that he would be gone. That he was suddenly taken to heaven with a health condition that he didn't know. Simply was just one of the best guys I'd ever known. And he was a true friend in every aspect of the word. Would do anything for anybody. Didn't matter if he knew him or not. Didn't matter if he was getting anything from it. He did not care. He did not care at all. In fact, I was his pastor for a while, and there were times that he knew we needed things done or whatever, and I wouldn't call him and ask him to do it. Just in conversation, he would pick up on things, and he would get it done. Whatever it was, he would take care of for it. Never ask for anything. Few people today have a servant's heart. But man, this guy had a servant's heart. That's what I loved about him. So many times he did things for me. And again, we aren't friends with people because of what we can get from them. But friends, real friends, just they help each other, right? We're there for each other. And love this guy. There were times he'd come by my office or I'd stop by his, and we just would talk and just goof off, just laugh and cut up. But I had no idea 2 weeks ago that would be the last time that I would hear his voice. And had I known that, man, I sure would have said some things. I sure would have said some things different. The Bible says life is but a vapor. And it's gone. The Bible says we have no hope or promise of tomorrow. So how important should we make every single day, every single moment, every single second? How often should we say things that we need to say? How often should we do things that we need to do? Because we care about somebody, because we love somebody, but because we think we've got plenty of time. But there's no promise of tomorrow, and life is just but a vapor that just blows through and it's gone. You can't get that moment back. It's just that quick. Cherish, of course, your family, but also this video is just specifically about friends. Cherish your friends. And we're not talking about acquaintances today. I'm talking about your real, genuine, authentic, true friends. Cherish them. Let them know that you care about them. Be there for them. You know what? I want to be a great friend too. I've got some wonderful friends. It's a small group, but some wonderful friends. But I want to reciprocate that, and I want to be a great friend for them too. And sometimes that's not so easy, right? Because we can get caught up in our own little world and in our own selfish needs. But as I sit here today, I want to be the type of friend that my friend was to me. He loved everybody. He had the best smile. I want to serve people and serve God like he did. Before we go, I want you to know this, just in case you're watching today and maybe you're struggling, feeling alone, or just wondering who your friends are. The Bible says that we have a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And of course, that's the Lord. He sticks closer than a brother. When other people forsake you or just trying to get things from you, just trying to use that relationship. They really don't care. There's a friend who sticks closer than a brother, and that's Jesus. That's Christ. And he will never leave you, and he will never forsake you. He loves you unconditionally. Not only does he know you, but he knows you better than you know yourself. And he is always there for you. To me, he meets every criteria of what it means to be a real friend. So wherever you are today on this cold and wet and rainy Sunday, be blessed, be strong. Let your families, send them a text. Let your friends, let them know, hey, you know what, I was thinking about you today and I appreciate our friendship. I love you and I care about you, man. I just want to say thanks. But also, don't forget. Don't forget today. Don't forget tomorrow. Don't forget this week. You've got a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Guys, this has been The Fourth Man In, episode number 5. I can't thank you enough for watching. If you don't mind, hit like, post a comment. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you next week.